Hi, I'm Luis Bonilla. I'm the CTO at Zone Exchange. I don't even know where to start and why. We've been doing this for quite a while. I would say the main reason why is to gain efficiencies. I still remember the days of having 50, 60 agreements with other MSCs, other CMOs, and every single one of them was different and required different formats, different processes. Not only that's costly from the perspective that you need to code all those differences, you also need to train your employees. It really gets in the way. It slows things down. It's not as streamlined as it could be. This is a different world. This is like a ray of hope out there where all of a sudden you can have just one format that can literally, as you've seen, meet all the business use cases for a CMO, for an MLC, literally from the ingestion of usage to whenever you pay somebody out and you send them a statement, allows you to standardize the process, allows you to streamline your processes, lowers the cost, and that lowering the cost increases what we pay out, which at the end of the day is why we exist. Like, it is not our money in the first place. We're here to pay as much as possible, as fast as possible, as efficiently as possible. This gives you that. It is not 100% there yet. We've implemented one that 2, 3, 4. We're the only ones that implemented 5. I don't even know why. But yeah. We've implemented RDR R 1.0 as well. So we're doing as much as we can to bring those efficiencies. I can see how in the past, even though it was a standard, it was more taken as a guideline and people were still taking some liberties. That hopefully has stopped happening, and more we see how files are consistent, and it is really getting better. So the more parties in the music ecosystem involved and start using RDR, the more it helps all of us. It really streamlines processes and data quality and revenue, and it's like the one standard that can bring everything together. So highly encourage you all to implement it, and if you need any help implementing it, yes, it's daunting at first, but then it's not really rocket science. Talk to any of us. We've been doing this for many, many years. We have teams that have been reinventing wheels for quite some time, so you don't have to do it. So reach out, look at the knowledge-based documentation, reach out to the chairs, to whomever. We're here to help and make it easy. And again, the efficiencies are there. We just need to get it implemented and adopted, and I can see how it's getting better, but all of us are the ones making it happen.
I'm José Antonio Delgado, Head of Software Development at AGEDI, the Spanish MLC for producers, and co-chair of the Radar Working Group. Why implementing the Radar standard? I think that Luis and Luca pointed out a lot of benefit of using DDEX, so let me describe our experience using DDEX, and I hope you find it of interest. We joined DDEX in 2010. We are DDEX World veterans. Our thought was that the standard was needed in the music industry. We put faith in DDEX, also supported by the recommendation of IFPI. Although at that time, as Neil said, the radar or the MLC standard did not exist, there was a project called IDMT that could be considered the germ of the current standard. In 2012, we detected that many of our members were providing their repertoire or their distribution metadata to the DSPs directly or through their aggregators using the DDEX ERN messages. So we take advantage of that situation and we implemented the ERN standard. I think that can be considered our first milestone using DDEX. We were automatically able to start receiving their metadata using the same files that they were sending to the DSPs. So no extra effort for our members, but many benefits for us. They type their label copy of the distribution metadata in the system once, and data flows to many parties, which reduces the risk of human errors of typing multiple times in different systems. From an IT point of view, developing a format and having it be compatible with many of our members is fantastic. And apart from the benefits of Luca and Luis pointed out of accuracy, efficiency, and so on, from my point of view, the most important benefit is that it reduces the IT team's efforts, because any new integration with someone using DDEX ERN, for us is a piece of cake. It's just the same feed that we are implementing. Some months later, in 2013, we started working with VIII, the MRT, the Music Recognition Technology company, and started to receive reports from them of the usage of the radios in Spain. VIII receives the data from the producers using the ERN messages. We receive the report from VIII with the ERN data, and we are receiving the repertoire from our members using the ERN data. So the matching is easy. It's the same data flowing across the music industry, the same data. So, and also it's highly likely that both VIII and we are receiving the same file. So for the producer, it's also a benefit. In 2018, the MLC 1.4 was published, the most used version currently, and we implemented this version. This is our second milestone using DDEX. At the beginning, only very few MLCs exchanged repertoire using this version, but as it was said, thanks to development of projects based on radar standards such as RDX or SAMSIS, and of course, the work of the working group promoting the use of the standard, the MLC 1.4 was being extended, and not only to many other MLCs, but also to many record companies. We went live with RDX in 2022, and now we are receiving repertoire from 20 different rights controllers, and also we can send our members' repertoire to 11 MLCs, and the list is growing. And it's almost the same with SAMSIS, with 10 MLCs onboarded. All those benefits because we implemented the MLC 1.4, so it's fantastic. Our next steps are clear: implementing the RDR-R 1.1 and the new standard, the RDR-RCC, the rights claim conflict in 20 and 25. And finally, I would like to give you a tip. DDEX is great, it's fantastic, it's a lot of benefit, but it's simply the language, okay, and the data validation and the mechanism and so on. But what really matters is you have high quality data with ISRCs, main artists, titles, subtitle, duration, and of course, accuracy, rights information per territory, per use type, dates, right percentages, because otherwise you will cause fake conflicts, and that is a problem for everyone. And remember, the more people using the standard, the better for everybody.
Great wealth of information. I've also been following DDEX for the last couple of years. Great company. We handle metadata in the United States, and we deal with a lot of huge catalogs. And some of the information that I've seen you put up with the 0.5 and the MLC and some exchange. I have a few questions, but so far from what I'm hearing, I've answered a few of them. But my question to you is on the mandates. When the mandates are sent out to the different PRO companies, what percentages are being taken from on the international level? Because what's happening is we are sending mandates out to different PROs outside the United States, but we are fighting to claim mechanicals and neighboring rights in some of these countries. And the answers that we are getting back from those companies are the metadata are having issues and a lot of the codes are dormant. Can you explain that to me, or is it too soon to speak about that?
Thank you for your question. I will give it to the expert who operates in the same space as you.
So the term mandates confuses everybody, I think. So the way we call mandates and what we think a mandate is basically what MLC has the right to collect on behalf of what rights owner in what territory, right, and period. It is not, people think that mandate is the ownership. Mandate conflicts are conflicts between MLCs, not between rights owners. So I don't know exactly if that's what you meant by mandates. We are the reason why 1.5 exists and has mandates. I don't know if everybody has the context, but that's because in 2018, we got out of SCAPRA. Getting out of SCAPRA meant we couldn't use IPD, which is how we were exchanging mandates with other MLCs. At that point, we had two options. We could create our own standard, which we didn't think was appropriate, or two, go to DDEX and say, hey, let's create something that can help all of us. Then we failed miserably because we're the only ones that did it. But at some point in the future, maybe other people would use those mandate messages and are there to stay. And I'm positive that at some point will be used. But that is mostly an MLC to MLC message to communicate again who has the right to collect on behalf of what performer or rights owner, for what asset and what territory, right, and period. So it's, again, it's not ownership.
Thank you.
Great answer. On the mandates, you still don't answer on certain PRO companies, because I know when we the mandates that were issued to us, you know, I mean, I've been with the RIAA since 2007. I'm also on the board at GS1 with the Barcode company. So when certain mandates go out, the information that we are getting, 30% coming to the United States, the US government, if certain things are not mandated coming out in, they take money coming into the country on the royalties. And my question, you answered a little part of it. My question to you is, moving forward in the times that we are those mandates, are we going to continue using those application mandates, or we're just going to work alongside DDEX to have them, you know, I mean, I'm willing to turn over a lot of my catalogs over and my clients to DDEX because I've been following them for years. I love what they're doing. It's a movement. My team right now is where I'm at in the United States, and we're working with the different labels as a vendor. We've been having a lot of issues and a lot of problems dealing with the metadata. And if that is not being fixed from the start, everything that we're doing right now and what you're telling us, we're going to run into a lot of issues because we have distribution companies giving out dormant codes. It's a mess right now. So I'm asking you on DDEX, like, moving forward, what direction would you give us to enhance and help the clients we have?
I think there's a lot in your questions there, but I think that I just need to stress that DDEX is only focused on the standardizing the communication. We, even as the community of DDEX, are not really in a position to directly affect the quality of metadata that gets exchanged. And that is why we work hard with organizations or with projects that are trying to improve the quality of data, but it's not something that DDEX itself is in a position to influence. We can only influence the standardization of the exchange of that data. Sadly, if the data is bad, the exchange of it means that it will still be bad when it gets to the other end of the communication. So it's really a limitation on what DDEX is authorized to do and where it's able to work. The problems over data quality have to be dealt with on an individual company by company basis, I'm afraid.
What I may want to add to this is what Luca referred to. By implementing the radar standard that we're talking about here today, is however indirectly influencing the quality of the metadata, because Luca was talking about the rights claim status update message, so the RC-SUM. So in a much more efficient way, both parties can communicate about anything that pops up that may need to be handled and dealt with. And I think sender and recipient adopting it makes the communication easier, faster, more efficient, and therefore, when you then go back and know something is wrong, you can go back to the original data and you can make the updates, and therefore the next time it goes out, it's being corrected. At least that's the ideal scenario.
I think one of the drawbacks and humongous benefit of electronic communication, such as the ones that DDEX enables, is that all the little problems in all of your databases are surfaced. You are suddenly faced with all those issues that you had never an idea that were there. The benefit, of course, is that, well, the drawback is you now need to sort that out. But it also means that you sort it out, and therefore, going forward, as Vanessa said, the data should become much more clean. We had actually the same discussion with respect to party information earlier in the week, where it was clear that people not necessarily have the data in their system as it would be required if you would want to use the standard in the fullest extent. But at the same time, if there are inconsistencies, other people will notice those inconsistencies and, quote, complain, unquote, to you. Not a nice place to be in, true. But actually it will raise the overall quality of the metadata immensely. So it's a blessing in disguise, those things. Simon, who are you?
I'm Simon Harper from Warner Music. And really, yeah, just we're on the sharp end of this. And one of the reasons why we're involved in these projects, in DDEX, in RDX, in SoundSys, is exactly as has been said. This system is the infrastructure to allow increased transparency. Our intention is that we can provide one single source of data. We know where it's going to all the MLCs. The purpose being we want to align the data that we provide so that we bypass any discrepancies that might seep into the data from our local companies. And as Niels was saying, these data hubs will bring to light any inconsistencies, any conflicts, and they can then be amended and standardized so that there is one single source of good quality data out in the neighbouring rights ecosystem.